You've also generated the movements to get yourself there, so you know what you're doing a little bit better from inside. But if you're hot on the outside and your outside, like wax, softens, you can slide further in without any awareness of how to get in or out of it. And that's my only concern. Like, if you know what you're doing, then take a hot class. But if you just take a hot class and you don't know what you're doing, you're really asking for an injury. I heard my hamstring pop off of my pelvis in a super duper. So we'll have warm class instead of hot, right? So good morning. We're in our super crazy distressed wall. I mean, think of how many layers are here. The building, and then we got this one, and then different people painting different things over this. It's awesome. So more grounding. Today we're grounding and continuing, but from the feet, we're going to push into the hands a little bit. And to push into the hands and the feet, you need to put those 2 points together. And between these 2 points is this whole structure gets more certain. And so if we say core, I'm meaning core like from the base of your pelvis to the top of your head. It isn't core, and I'm just curling. It's that I'm creating stability in 3 dimensions, front and back and left and right and in and out. And so that when I'm in that sensation, I've made myself certain. And then everything else around me can fall apart. And then I still have a place that contains me. So that's where we're headed with our aspect of grounding. We'll work from the bottom to the top, and a lot of time on the floor. Again, grounding comes from the ground, so we want to be here a little bit more than we are usually. So we'll start on the floor. Open your blanket just from here, and then one more. You'll want to have a blanket and a strap, and we will come to lie down on your back and bring your strap, have a strap within reach, and have a block within reach. Right? Bringing your knees to your chest, put your hands on your shins, and on an exhale, you're just bringing your knees closer. On an inhale, your knees float away. On an exhale, your knees come in. And on an inhale, your knees float away. And you're just exploring that for the first bit. And on the exhale, it's as though you're breathing the tension of your hips and your feet out of your body. And you're feeling how plastic and elastic your body really is, all the connective tissue, all the muscles. Good morning. I thought for a minute you had no top on, but we're good. Yes, flesh tones are tricky. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, closing. 2 more. You'll drop the tips of your toes to the floor and take your hands overhead as you let go. That'll be in, and then hands to shins, breathing out, squeezing in. So tips of the toes to the floor, hands overhead, getting a little longer, just for 4. And for 3. That we could start out in such a simple movement, and yet really, if we just let go and lay on the floor from here, it would be enough. Interlace your fingers over your right shin, keep it close. Left leg long, flex your feet. Inhale, left up, exhale, down. Yep. So you're just hinging at the hip, bringing your heel high, bringing it to the floor. And standing in the center of your left heel, you get taller, longer, more certain in the spine. You bring the right shin a little bit closer. And keep your left heel to the floor. Take your left hand overhead and your left hand a little bit towards the right and stand in the left heel. Making space, letting the left thigh be heavy. And then interlace over the left shin. Right leg long, feet flexed. Inhale your heel high, exhale, bring it to the floor. So it's a chance to start very simply addressing the hinge of your hip and feeling how that hinge reaches all the way to the spaces between your toes, keeping your shoulders level to the floor, reaching out. You can point flex if it gets sticky. And then keep your right heel to the floor and take your right hand overhead and pause. And your hand goes a little to the left. The right thigh is heavy, the chest is broad, we're opening out. Good. Knees to chest. So if you put your feet to the floor and you take a block, set the block between your thighs, just below the knob of your knees, in that sort of soft inner thigh space. Hands to the floor, and your exhale, hug the block with your thighs. You'll feel the navel engage. You'll feel the low belly engage. Inhale, relax that hug and relax the low belly. Exhale, hug the block, even a little tip of the tail, engaging a little of the glutes. And then inhale, soften everything. So again, the exhale, you hold, you hug in towards the pelvic floor, and then you relax. Exhale, hug. Good. Inhale, hands overhead. Relaxing, draw that ease up the body. Exhale, hands down. Hug the block. And then inhale. And as you relax, you're drawing the energy up the body. Hands down. Hug the block. Hug, 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 hug. Good. And then inhale, hands up. So lift your head and shoulders, lift your heels, hug the block, reach towards your feet flat, hands overhead. Inhale, soften and open. Exhale, hug, roll up, curl into the navel. 3, feet down, hands overhead, release. So it's as though you're curling into a little rosebud, hug, and then the blossoms open, feet to hands. One more hug. Good. Hands overhead. You'll bring your palms together outside of the right thigh. Lift your feet. Pause. So press the back of your left hand against the outer right thigh. Right hand overhead. Palm to palm. Bring it back. Exhale. Hug the block. Right hand only. Inhale. Open. Exhale. Hug the block. Palm to palm. Again. Opening. And palm to palm. Hug, hug, hug. You might tremble. Feet down. Hands overhead. Reach. Release. Palms together outside the left thigh. Press the thigh, left hand overhead, and then palm to palm, hug. Inhaling. You're making instability as you move your left arm, and the hug of your thighs is creating stability in reply. 2 feet down, hands overhead. Last set, lift your head, shoulders, reach out. Now feet don't go to the floor, they extend out, hands overhead. Exhale, tuck in, 4. Legs extend out. Exhale, tuck in, 3. You're getting a little bigger. You're starting to feel into what you are capable of. You're finding an edge. You're building a base. Hands overhead. Keep your hands, put your feet down. Relax your thighs. And just notice the radiance from the center out in all directions. Wag your tail, tap your feet. And bringing your strap over the arch of your right foot. So I'm right in the middle of my foot with the strap. My arms straightening, holding the strap on either side. My arms are straight, my shoulders to the floor. Bend your right knee down toward the floor and bend your elbows wide as you pull on that strap. Use the strength of your arms. Push into your foot and straighten your arms and open the space at the base of your neck. Exhale, bend your knees, elbows wide, pull down. Inhale, press your foot straight, lengthen out. Exhale, bend. Good, good, good. Inhale, straight. And exhale, bend. So that you're starting to flush out more deeply into the left hip crease, keeping it bent. Stay a beat, stay a beat. Soften your right hip, elbows wide, letting your right knee drop. Push into your heel and straighten the left leg. Dropping your shoulders, letting your elbows softly bend. Let your right heel move a little right and left, just a few inches in each direction. And send your right hip away from your right shoulder, out into the tips of your toes, and put both straps in your right hand. Left arm wide, right leg wide to the right. Open the center. Pressing into both heels, reaching into the left hand. That sensation of expanse from the navel into the feet, from the navel into the hands. The energy you generated as we curled and opened from the block, keep that going. And bring it up into the middle. Both straps to the left hand. Right arm wide to the right. The right leg crossing to the left. And just as far as your body appreciates, my foot's not on the floor, not by a long shot. Put a little bend in your right knee and a little press. And a little bend in that right knee and a little press. And the press turns your navel to the right. And you stand in your left heel and into the right heel. And just bring it back into the middle, bringing your right foot flat to the floor. Walk the left foot in. Let your knees wash side to side. We just start. They're so simple, but when we start from here and then go into our moving, flowing, standing work, we're ready in a very different way. So over the arch of the left foot, arms are straight, right knee is bent, right foot flat. Bend your left knee as you widen your elbows, knee down to the floor. That's exhale. Push into your foot. This is inhale. Exhaling, bending. And it's as though you're simply sending the breath out. As your leg extends back to the ceiling, you're drawing the breath in right to your feet. The pace is up to you. The depth is up to you. Sometimes it's really important to engage in this deep plasticity of our body. Keep your left knee bent for a beat. Deep holding. And as you straighten into the left heel, straighten into the right heel. Arms are straight, shoulders on the floor. And you can feel all the way to the tips of your toes as you let your elbows become heavy and your legs become long, and a little side to side with the left heel. Just an inch or two in each direction, and start to feel that widen through the back of your calf, widen across the belly of your pelvis. Both straps in the left hand open wide to the left, right arm opening wide to the right. Little bend and a little press if you get sticky. Imagining your right ribs wrapping down toward the floor. Your right shoulder dropping down and away from the left heel. And bring it back up through the middle, crossing over to the right, only as far as your body appreciates. Left arm wide, little bend in the left, and then press into the heel. That little bend is giving you a little more access into the spine, into the pelvis, into the action of the legs. Go one more. And stay. Both feet are open, standing, supportive. Left chest drops to the floor. Left shoulder drops to the floor. Left hip moves away from your shoulder towards your heel. And you come into the center. Strap comes down, knees are bent, feet are flat, arms are wide. Let your knees wash side to side. When we're traveling, automobile, train, plane, whatever this is, something other than us is moving us through space, we get ungrounded. That simple series of about 10, 15 minutes when you get to a home or a hotel will make all the difference. So get a block in each hand. Lift your hips, put the blocks on their lowest setting and put their sides together. So you've made a low platform, feet flat. Left palm flat to the floor, right hand reach overhead, the back of your hand to the floor. Tuck a shoulder, tuck another. And then on your exhale, your right hand comes down. It's very, very simple. Feels like it's not doing anything. Right hand overhead, reach. And as you do, inhale, and then exhale, right hand back down. So simple. Right hand overhead. Keep that. The back of the hand is on the floor. Now let your right knee move in and open. And let it fall in toward the left heel and let it open a little bit. Doesn't need to be big, but keeping a reach into your right fingertips, you'll start to feel the psoas is the connection between your low back and the inner left, right front thigh here. Let that get longer. This is your repair for any kind of sitting for a long time. And the right hand comes down and the left hand goes overhead, and that's your inhalation, reach. And the left hand comes down, exhale. Inhale up overhead, tuck a shoulder, and down. So you're starting to feel length from the navel to the heart, a little lift at the heart. Keep your left hand and let your left knee move side to side. I know this might seem like a really elementary beginning. We will move, we will work, I can promise, but this is preparing. Just feel into how many layers are in our low belly. And then center and bring your left hand down. Lift your hips. Put your blocks side, belly to belly. So now they're on their side. Sit back down, right hand overhead. Reach. And just one more time like that, right hand down. And then overhead. Keep it and move your right knee now. You've got a little more height. Tuck your shoulders under. Press the left hand to lift your heart a little. And start to feel, where is it sticky or caught? In the right hip, in the right lung. Tap your right heel. And then bring the right hand down and lift the left. Inhaling overhead. Exhaling down. Again, so simple. And move your left knee a little side to side. Move your left knee. And feel when it drops in, that length, that huge length of deep muscle from the inner thigh across the front of the hip. Sure. Finding center, stand in your heels, lift your hips, turn your blocks so that they're on their tail. Right hand overhead. Let your right knee move. Let your right knee move. Opening and closing. You now might be at your edge. And pause and tap your right heel and let it shake out the tension. And get your breath into your belly. And right hand down and left hand high. And let your left knee move. And open the left inner thigh, left front of hip, left lung. Where is it still caught? And then tap your left heel and shake it loose, shake it loose, shake it loose. Heart comes a little higher, shoulders go a little lower. Breath into the pelvis, and then hands down. Press your feet to lift your hips, to move your blocks. And now notice, knees are bent, feet flat, hips to the floor. Notice the front surface of your body. If you just get very still for a moment, you can feel all the way from under your jaw, across your chest, across your belly, into the pelvis, that there's a light that wasn't forced. It was simply invited to open, to unfold. And then knees to chest. You'll roll forward and back to come onto your hands and your knees. Fold your blanket one time. If it's long, fold it front to back so it's a little bit closer. Knees are wide, toes together, finding your child's pose, just shift back. So now finding length in the back of our body. Rise up, hands and knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips. There's your dog. Hands and knees breathing in, child's pose, breathing out. Start to move between those postures. Rising up to hands and knees, tucking toes, pressing back to down dog. Breathing in at hands, knees, breathing out at child. And just making it your own. If today you're feeling frisky and you want to move more quickly, move quickly. Find the pace that feels steady. And then just find your way in and out. Out of the jaw, out of the face, out of the back. In the last two, just becoming ever so slightly more deliberate. Feeling the base of the knuckles into the floor, the base of your thumbs. Letting your hands draw you up. Feeling the lift of your hips and the spread of your toes. Good, we'll meet in dog and just let the hips sway side to side, opening through the side ribs. Bringing your knees to the floor. Tuck your toes under deeply. Reach your right hand out. Thumb is up. Reach your left hand, heel back. Bring your elbow to your knee. Tuck your chin. Inhale, reach out. Inhale, reach further. Exhale, elbow to knee. So in, and out. And in, and out. And in that extra in, you are really finding the heel to the back wall. The thumb to the ceiling. The fingertips forward. On the exhale, the navel to the spine. You're anchored into the base of your left hand, the base of the knuckles, your right tucked under toes. 2, 1. And child's pose, set back. Notice, walk your hands to the right and sit your left heel back and down. The breath is getting bigger. The heart is beating harder. We're starting to ask a little more. Drop the left elbow, drop the left shoulder so the left hip folds deeply. A little heat. And returning hands and knees, left hand out, thumb up, tuck toes. Right heel back, press heels. And then elbow to knee. Inhale, reach and reach again. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, and exhale. And there's a rhythm, there's a pace that serves your body. My pace doesn't serve your body, it serves my body. What's your pace? So that you can become very deliberate. And in that deliberation, you're shaking yesterday, last week, out of your body. You're becoming far more stable in right now. 3, 2, from the navel into the limbs. 1 more. And then knees wide, toes together. Child, walk a step to the left and fold. And let that momentum continue. Your right elbow is heavy. Your right shoulder is heavy. Your right hip is heavy. Your breath is big into the sides of your ribs like gills of a fish. Your heart is busy inside. Into the center. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Start to feel you've made space from the outer hip to the outer hand. Step your right foot outside of your right hand and bring a block under your left. And with that outside, put your left knee to the floor. Put your right arm wide and your left arm wide, and you're fitting your knee into your armpit. And you're bringing your knee forward to bring your heart forward, to bring your gaze forward. So help it along, let it move a little bit. Take your back knee back an inch. Now put the top of your back foot to the floor. Yeah. So if you don't reach the floor, put blocks there. So your heart comes through. And your heart comes through. And your mood changes. And your eyebrows rise. Your collarbones broaden. And all it is that your right kneecap is drawing your whole shoulder girdle forward up out of your hips. And step back, down dog, and notice. Plug in. Right hand, right hip, right heel. Turn your right heel in. So your toes turn out. Bend your left knee. You're on the ball of your left foot. Big circles with your right hip. So that you can feel how your right hip is connected to the sole of the foot. And how it's connected to the shoulder. And how your right hip is connected to your jaw. And how it's connected to your sense of humor. And then find natural dog and notice right side versus left. How different. Step your left foot up. Widen your fingertips. Bring your right knee to the floor. Block your hands if they don't reach. And notice when I start, I'm tight. And my heart drops down. So bend your left knee. Let your knee bring your heart forward. Let your heart bring your gaze forward. Let your gaze lift your eyebrows. And give it a little play. Give it a little movement. Yeah. And then the back knee can just make its way back just a wee bit. And you're letting your knee come forward and your heart come forward and your chest broaden and the top foot flattens. And as your foot flattens, you rest your foot down. You rest your knee into your armpit. You rest your eyes a little further forward. You rest your gaze. All the ways we've been holding down, come forward, come out, come up. Root of the tongue. So that when you shift back, you can feel your left hand, left hip, left heel. Gabby, you snuck in. Turn your left heel in, bend your right knee, and a big circle. If you need your hands closer to your heels, just walk them in a step. And circle from the sole of your left foot, through your left hip, through the left shoulder, through the left jaw. Now notice your dog. Set it into the middle. Wag, walk as you need to, and then let it become still. Notice the front body is open. The back body is lengthening. The knees are soft. There's a steadiness here. If that's all the time you have, that's a 30-minute practice. That's a beautiful way to release uncertainty or travel or displacement. Step your right foot up. Put your left knee down. Take your hands high. Just float. Hands down, hips back. 3. Sweep forward and back. So now we're taking all of that freedom, that space from the bottom up to the top and fold down. Left foot steps up. Good. Hands wide. Turn your thumbs forward, your seat down, your thumbs up, your heart up, you stand up. Press down to rise tall. And reverse, hands wide. Fold. Left foot steps back, left knee down, hands up high. Just a breath. And then fold. Step back, down dog. Good. Left foot will step up, right knee will come down, right toes tucked under, so that you can raise your hands and forward and back. And use that to shake out through the hands, shake out through the breath. Use your front heel, use your back toes. Finding your way in and out. Come to the top, pause, that's inhale. And hands down, exhale, right foot steps up. Hands wide. Sit down, thumbs up, heart up, we pause. And fold. Right foot back, right knee down, hands up high, this will be inhale. Palms together, thumbs to the chest, to the back, tuck your chin. Exhale, hands up high, look up. Inhale and fold. Step back, down dog. Right foot up, left knee down, hands up high. Palms together, down the back, tuck your chin, elbows in. And reach and look up. And fold. Step up, hands wide, sit down, palms together, down the back, elbows in. Reach up, look up. And fold. Left knee back. Hands up high. Palms together. Find your breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. Smooth it out. In dog. Left foot, right knee. Exhale. Hands high. In. Down the back. Out. In and up. And fold. Stepping up. And wide. Inhale up. Down the back. In up. And fold. Step back. Knee down. In up. Down the back. In up. Fold. Lengthen your breath. Lengthen your movement. Right foot. Left knee. Hands high. Down the back. And up. And fold. Step up. Sit down. Hands wide. Stand tall. Down the back. Stay 3. Heels down, thighs back. Elbows in. Chin down, spine tall. Elbows in. Inhale, reach up, look up. And reach wide, fold down. Stay, lift halfway. Fold. Lift halfway. Hips higher. Fold. One more, lift halfway, tail back, heart high, lengthen. Keep that. Fold as you can. Stay. Stay. Hips are coming high. Weight is in the balls of your feet. Toes are long. Elbows are soft. Elbows wrap in. Elbows wrap in so that the back of your neck gets long and the fingertips are folding your belly to your body. Your hips up high. You're on the balls of your feet. Turn your chin side to side. Good. Step your feet back and find your high plank. Set your blanket aside. Step your right foot halfway up and turn the toes out. Turn to the outer left foot and raise your right hand high. Press the left hand down. Reach the right hand overhead and now hug your right knee towards your left heel. Find the outer hip, outer side. Press left hand down. Press left heel away. Hug your right knee towards your left heel. Hug the inner thighs. And then right hand high. Look down. Step back, down dog. Left foot halfway up. Turn the toes to the left. Outer right foot to the floor. Left hand high. So stand in your left foot. Stand in your right hand. And reach overhead, standing in both feet. Hug your left knee towards your right heel. So the top knee is drawn back. You plug into your right hand and you hug your thighs together and you are strong and sound and steady. Plug in. Left hand high, reach wide, set down, belly to the floor. Walk your thighs back, walk your hands a half step back, peeling up. This little cobra, hips stay on the floor. Roll down, wag your tail. Plug in, roll to a little cobra, heart up, halfway down, tuck your chin. Good, inhale, rise into your toes. all the way down. Bend your knees. Straighten your legs, little cobra. Keep your feet down, halfway down. Tuck your chin. Good, rise up. Bend your knees as you roll down. Straighten your legs all the way. Cobra, halfway down. Tuck your chin, lengthen. Lifting up. One more, bend your knees, roll your weight down. Roll your way up, pause, firm into the toes, elbows in, legs are strong. Now look forward as though your knees was in your armpits and your heart comes up and the work is in your legs. It's not in my hands, right? So come down a little if it's getting your ribs. If it's getting your wrists, come down a little and heart forward. That's it, elbows in. Like your heart's being drawn forward, bend your knees, child, wide, fold. Wag your tail, wag your tail, wag your tail, look forward. Wag your tail and look forward. So the underside of your throat is lengthened. The underside of your armpits are lengthened. Good. We'll rise to hands and knees and roll forward, bending our knees the way we just did here, right? Straighten your legs and pull to child, look forward. Exhale back. Good. Inhale, pull forward through the thigh, through the belly, a little lift of the knees. Good. Knees down, fold back. Inhale forward, little lift of the knees, use your glutes, and then roll back. You've got 10. Rolling forward. Rolling back. Strengthening through the back of your body. Good, good, good. Tuck your chin as you go back now and start to really roll through the spine and roll your way back. Perfect. 2. Good call, John. One more. And down dog. And notice and be still. Be still. And suddenly being still feels really sweet. Stephanie's in charge of the temperature, it's not me. Bring your blanket back, setting it underneath your hips so that you can step your right foot outside of your right hand and bring your left knee down. Right? Fingertips to the floor, a little forward, a little back. Just as we did. A little forward, a little back. Just making some space. Notice the angle. Turn it as far wide as you can just to explore. And as you do, what will happen is it will draw your right knee wider. See, yes, right? That little extra turn. Awesome, John, try turning your toes out. A little more. That's a plan. Feel that space in your pelvis. Good. Put a block under your left hand. So we get a little height, a little space. Right hand to your right thigh. Press it away. Yeah. I don't know your name. Sue. Sue. Of course. Okay, here we go. So turn your toe all the way off the mat. There we go. Now let the inner edge come off. And yes, okay, now your pelvis comes forward with that rotation of the pelvis. Now your tail is coming forward and your heart is coming through. That sensation of the kneecap under your armpit. The heel is drawing your hips forward and your hand is helping open the space of your collarbones. One more. Foot flat, hands down, step back. Keeping your hands to the floor, step your left foot toward the center line and lift your right heel high. Good. Put a bend in your top knee, put a bend in your standing leg, put a bend in your elbows wide, wrap your elbows in and press your legs straight. That's exhale. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. This is inhale. Press into your limbs. This is out for 3. In, bend, press. Elbows wide, wrap them in and extend into the base of your knuckles. Stay. And set it down. Good. Left foot steps outside of your left hand. Right knee down. Turning your toes out to the right. Let your hips come forward and back. Sure. And this is deep work. This is like moving the furniture to really, we're not just sweeping the walking areas now. We're really like getting behind the couch, gently so, okay? Toe turns out, left hand to left thigh. And just let it keep moving, right? If it gets sticky, you've got back toes under, you've got front heel. I'm looking to bring my pelvic, the pubic bone forward. And as my pubic bone comes forward, my heart comes up, my collarbones come wide. And it's that sensation I had, the armpits coming up and out, lengthening all the way through to the roof of your mouth, to the top arches of your eye sockets, to the crown of your head. Right? One more. 2, set down, step back. So it got a little juicy and warm right there for a little bit. And that's fantastic. Looking at your blanket, folded in half front to back. And we'll set it to the left side so that it's easy to reach. Now, option 1, knees to the floor. Just bring your heart forward and send it back. This is the most modified, and you can always do this. Super fantastic. Or knees off the floor, take it back, bring your left knee to your left elbow. Put your right foot down, bring your left heel high, my mistake. Hatza. Oh, you can tell we didn't get under this part of the room. Bend your top knee, bend your bottom knee, bend your elbows, wrap your elbows, press out straight. Mean it. Bend, 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 and press. Inhaling and exhaling. Stay. Fortitude, clarity, lines. And dog. So high plank, left knee to left elbow. And step back to dog. And the same side, left knee, left elbow. So that's absolutely available. Or you can be on hands, knees, and that's available. Or you feel frisky, put your left shin to the floor, but not your hips, right? And then press back dog. Okay. So each time you come forward and you rest on your shin, I want your heart to come a little further forward. Yes. So it's as though you're looking forward, your heart comes, yes, better, better, better. We go 3. Yeah. 2. Good. 1. Put your knee down. Take your blanket, put it at an angle under the line of your thigh. So my shin is on the floor. I'm resting on the blanket. I get my blocks. And now resting feels pretty great. Top of the foot flat. Fingertips rise up. Exhale halfway down like your cobra. Fold. Tuck your chin, gather in, and rise. Inhale up. Reach forward. Tuck your chin, gather in, rise. Use your back toes like our cobra preparation. Forward, 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 and then round. Into the tips of your toes, lifting up. We're going 1 more. Fold. Rise. Left hand on left thigh. Press away, just like we did with your foot on the floor. You're rolling the thigh open. You can take your hand wider, and you're feeling the space across your pelvis widen. All the way through the larynx, through the aperture. The tighter I hold this and I sound like this, that's this coming from my pelvis. Widen. Drop. The jaw, the belly, the breath, the chin, whatever needs to move. Yeah, man. Good. Walk your fingertips forward and a step to the right. Yeah, elbows down. So bring your elbows under your shoulders rather than folding way down. That's it, like Sphinx. And make sure you're really walked to the right. Perfect. And now reach into your right toes. And just keep your heart coming forward, because when we flatten our arms out in front of us and try to find the fold, we lose our heart. So use your fingertips, draw your heart forward out of this pigeon. Draw your heart forward and feel how that changes everything. We don't want to flatten into the pigeon. We want to rise into the heart, into the mouth, into the tops of your eyeballs, into the crown of your head. We make an anchor so we can rise. Oh. Walk to center, press back, down dog. Set your blanket to the right. Unfold, shake it out as you need to. Another great thing is turn your heel in. Turn your left heel in and make your circles. Putting a bend in the left knee now. Really finding a little more juice in the ankle, in the knee, in the hip. Explore it. Lori, let your left knee bend more. Oh, that's your turning one. So put your heel in on the left side. We're turning the left heel. Yeah, but let your left knee bend. And circle there. You see that? So same circle you were doing. Circle your left hip with your foot down. Yep. And then just let your left knee bend as well at the same time. Yeah, play with it. Yeah. Good. Right knee to right elbow. So hands and knees is an option. Knee to elbow. Yep, knee to elbow. Press down. And that can be enough. Or bring your shin to the floor. And really bringing your shin to the floor, it gets easier because now you got a place to land. When you come down, you feel that like, oh God, that falling in place. So we're little at a time, we fall forward. Yes, your hips drop and your heart comes up. And it's just not nearly as impossible as we thought. Oh, opening and closing. Awesome. Go two more. And then with your shin to the floor, you add your bolster from your knee up under your hip. So my shin stays on the floor. And we pause. Just rest. Hands wide. Right? Like just, dear God, finally we're here. Fold. Now tuck your chin into your body and rise up. Take your time. Take your heart forward. And then scoop your chin into your chest and rise up. And notice if your back leg is just lax. And I want you to reach from your toes out through your chin, and from your toes, lift your heart. Use the whole back leg. Oh, so the heart is coming through. Two more. Yep. You're coming up and out. Bring the belly button away from the pelvis. Bring your heart away from your belly. At the top, right hand, right thigh, press. You're going to roll the thigh open. And you're looking to widen across the front of the pelvis. And this is widening across the collarbones. Our willingness to feel, our willingness to be in engagement. Open that space. And then walk your elbows down to the floor, under your shoulders, and a step to the left. And from there, your right hip goes back and your heart goes forward. Can you find both? Right hip goes back and your heart goes forward. So hands may be in prayer or fingertips to the floor. Use your fingertips to draw your heart forward and use your hips to draw your right hip back. And there's a little traction in there. And you're making length, intentional length. Reach into your left toes. Is your left leg dead weight, or is it awake to the toes? So the hips are reaching back and the heart is drawing forward, and you are a space in between. Oh, and center. And press back. Wag your tail. Wag your tail. Hips side to side. Perfect. 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 If it's tight, circle it out. You can lift it up. You can bend it and press it. Whatever's needed. Until you can come back into your dog. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Set your blanket aside for a beat. Walk your feet to your hands. Put a big bend in your knees. Bigger bend in your knees. Bigger bend in your knees. Sit your seat back. Reach your hands forward. So press your heels straight down and unfold. Widen out. Come to stand. And just rest from your hips to your heels, standing. That we made that. We made that shape. And clear it by a back circle. And especially if that was really hard, clear that difficulty by making this easy. Come back into the knowledge that your body is familiar with you. Mm-hmm. And now turn yourself a little more with each back circle. Ah, good. For 3. For 2. We're going to step wide to the right. Turn your toes. Steady in the feet. Good. Put your fingertips to the floor, right under your shoulders. Bend your right knee and press your left heel to the floor. And then through the middle, bend your left knee and press your right foot to the floor. And just move side to side. Inhale is center. Exhale is bending. It's your body. We've been busy. You've been listening. Now listen to your body. Tail goes back. That's it, Gabby. Tail goes back. John, take your heart forward and your hips back. That's the change. Now move from there. Yes, 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 yes. There we go. Look forward, Sue. Heart forward, tail back. That's where you're headed. Yeah. And then center. Turn your toes an inch more in, your heels a little out. Feel your seat flare wide and walk yourself in the middle. Fold. Walking your hands back, your elbows wrap in so that the wrist is under the elbow and the elbows hug in as though you were holding a block. And as you draw on your hands, press your hands as though away from you, and it draws your head down. Come onto the balls of the feet. Let your toes be long. Let your calves widen. Let the backs of the knees lengthen. Eventually, the crown of your head rests on the floor. Good. Walk up into center. Put your right hand right under the center of your throat. Put your left hand high and just spin. Bend both knees so you don't lock yourself out. Just up as you can. Reach your left hand over toward the middle. Get in there. And then left hand high. Good, good. Left hand down where the right is. And up. Oh, bend your knees. Wag your tail so you don't get stuck. Reach overhead. Over the top. Reach straight to the sky. And the right hand comes down. Now bring your right hand under and behind. So now my right hand is outside to the left side of my left. I'm going to bring my left hand up. Good. I'm going to reach it over the top, tail back, heart long. Over the top. Now bring your left hand down behind the right. Right hand comes up. Good, good, good. Tail back, hand overhead. Put a bend in your knees. And then up overhead and then behind the left. One more. Left hand reach up. Spin, spin, spin. Left hand over. Ha. Hand high. Left behind right. Last one. Bend your knees as you need to. Right hand reach up. Good. Tail back. Right hand overhead. Reach to the front. And then reach up overhead and behind the left. Walk your hands back and bend your knees side to side. 3. Good. So there's a little pliability in the spine. 2. Turn your hands to the front. Step back. Down dog. Last place here. Last place of effort. So bring your belly down to the floor. If you like to pad your hips, you can open it twice to the long blanket that we used when we were on our backs at the start. So your 2 unfolds. You got a nice length and it's not too much blanket. You got a good runway. Good. Wag your tail. Right? Just take stock. Palms down. Wrap your elbows in, float your feet, and just find the back body. Zip your feet together. Open it out and close. And you're returning to the core of your body. As you inhale, your legs are straight and wide. As you exhale, they come together. And you feel how your legs come together. You feel how your glutes meet your hamstrings. You feel how your spine gathers into itself. You feel how your shoulder blades gather into the spine, how your collarbones broaden. Put your feet together. Drop the tops of your feet. Sphinx. Elbows down, heart up. Now keep the action in your legs, that they're not heavy or sleeping. So the very tips of your fingers are drawing back towards you. And it draws your pubic bone forward and your heart forward exactly the way we've done all day today. But keep yourself rooted and anchored. Opening all the way under the jaw. Part of grounding is coming into contact with ourselves more fully. As you roll down, bring your elbows back, float your hands, tops of the feet stay. Yeah, that's it. Reach your right and back, and reach your left and back. So you can feel your shoulder blade move away and then come back toward the spine. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as it comes back, gathering in towards the navel. For 5. Lift your chest away from the floor using your toes and your elbows. 3. Good. 2. Good. And 1. Now hands down, press back. If you need to, you can put a block under your heart. So your hands are going to reach out and your chin is on the floor or your heart is on a block. So I'm not in child. My hips are up over my shins. Right? This is option 1. Is just to pause right there and really find strength and length under the chest. Option 2, bring your belly down. Put your chin down just like you did. Put your hands back. Yeah, palms down. Press the pinky edge of your hands down and that opens your chest. Perfect. So this is option 2. Or lift your hips and put your palms, walk them in. You have to kind of gather your arms on either side of your breasts. Now my thighs are on my palms. Find the pinky edge of the palms into the floor. Keep your chin long. Perfect. This is option 3. Bend your left knee, knee to the floor. Flex your foot. Press your left knee down, lift your right thigh, place it in your left foot. Ha! Press into the palms. Press into your left knee. Reach into the ball of your right foot. Ha! Now allow the strength of your arms to lengthen. The neck, the throat, the collarbones, the belly, the spine. 3. If you feel frisky, press your knee down. Lift your right foot a little higher so you come off the foot. And then set down. Pause. Palms stay down. Bend your right knee. Press your right knee down. Lift your left foot. Put it on your right thigh. So foot to thigh. Press your palms. Press the pinky side of your hands. Take your heart forward. Yeah, that's the place. Heart forward, chest broad. Reach into the ball of the foot. If you like, float it off. Ha. Ha. Set down, turn over, and rest with your palms open and the back of your head on the mat. Just turn right over. Ho! And notice. So at the beginning of class, we used the blocks and we opened the front of the pelvis, the psoas. And just now we took that real lengthening all the way up under the collarbones, under the jaw. And so the whole front surface of the body opens. And that's possible because we anchored the back of the body into itself, not even into the ground. But today we grounded into the spine so that wherever you go, there's a home, there's a foundation, there's an anchor. Just feel that possibility. You are held. You are substantial and able right in the center of yourself. And when you access that, there is a light and a lengthening that can be achieved, can be known. And then there's this like awesome quiet. You're not fighting to stay still. Keep settling into that stillness, into that quiet. That's it. So keep letting go, Linda. What else changes? Yep, yep. But the whole front surface becomes longer, as though a sky. When we've been living in a city and the sky feels so small between the buildings, and now you step outside and suddenly the sky is larger internally than before. It was a big ask on our spine to neutralize that without losing the length. Walk your feet in. And again, interlace your fingers over the left shin. Bring it in. And the right heel goes long, lifting up to the ceiling and down. And you start to feel that the front body can remain long and spacious, even as the back body lengthens to match. You are designing more interior space. When your heel comes down, keep that. Take your right hand overhead. And just allow that whole length as though standing in your right heel. Hold the right shin, left leg long, heel goes high, up and down. Any breath that needs to change, let it change. And when the left heel is on the floor, the left hand goes overhead and we pause. Oh. Bring your knees in. Hands on your shins, let your knees be wide and let your body just be quiet in that pose. If you need to, if it gets loud in your hips, shake out your feet, right? Get a little looser in the knees. That's option one. Or make a modified shoulder stand, releasing your knees. Anchor your elbows beside you. Press down in the elbows and up into the hips. Catch the backs of your hips, let your knees soften. So you're resting on the wide back surface of your upper back. Your knees are bent, your knees turn in, your heels turn out. Lengthen the back of your neck. Straighten your right leg high and your left knee down. And change. Right knee down, left heel high. So we're starting to just move from side to side. And then pause halfway between where it feels balanced. May work there, or lift your hips a little more. Tuck a shoulder, tuck another. And rather than shoulder stand, I'm much more interested in dropping both knees towards your shoulders. Both toes towards the floor. Knees are bent. Knees are bent. So it's as though you could put your knees on your shoulders and your toes on the floor. You may hold your hips, or you may reach back and hold your outer feet. But it's in that space that you'll breathe, so that you're breathing into the kidneys in the back of the body, just 5 deep times. That's it. Linda, let your back round a little more. Yeah, let your knees just sink into your body so that you're making more and more length. That's it. Collapse a little bit. The breath gets really juicy and personal and has a lot to tell you about what you've been doing. Coming out, you roll down. Feet flat. Pause a beat. Good. Good. We did a lot in the back, and I want to make sure you go home safely. Draw your knees to your chest. Roll up and turn to face the front. You still have your blanket. You'll sit with your right heel out and your left heel in, and a block inside. It can go on its edge. If inside is too much, you can move it to the outside as you need to. You can put it on its edge. You can put it on its side. But what we'll do is we'll take your right arm down, your left hand high. Drape your left arm over the side of your head. Take your right elbow down. Take your right hand knuckle, support your head. So if you have space, put it down. And now start to sort of clear out, flex point your right leg. Let your breath get a little bit bigger. Drop your left hip so that the stretch here is from your right hip to your right heel and from your left shoulder to your left hip. So Linda, let go of your head. Just drape it. Yeah, there's no work here. There's no work. Gabby, what if you let go of your head and just let your hand over top dangle? Yeah. Good. 3. Let it collapse a little toward the floor. 2. Good. As you come out, you're sitting upright. You bring your feet out in front of you. You lie back. You cross your left ankle over your right. Hands overhead. And that's it. Just let your left wrist rest in your right hand. Walk your head and shoulders a step to the right and be heavy and still. There's no work. It's an invitation. Left ankle is crossed over the right. Left ankle is heavy. Left hip is heavy. Left shoulder is heavy. And you can feel the whole left side body is a little longer than the right side body. In for 4, out for 4, 4 times. Notice what catches, what starts to get stuck, and just soften on the exhale. What gets stuck now will get stuck later, so let's address it now. Shake out the ankles and the feet side to side. Let the hips soften and wag. Let the belly get a little longer. Turn it into a little more of a stretch. And then back into the middle. Hands to shins. As you roll up, the left leg kicks out. The right heel comes in. The block comes inside. We're just opening the right side body. Elbow down, right hand up and over. Without holding the head, you're dropping your arm onto the side. You're placing your head on the hand. If you have more space, you simply put it down. Imagine a weight on your right hip. Flexing the left foot and then pointing, see if you can get a little attention all the way from the left hip through the knee, through the heel to the toes. And then your breath into the right side lung. Right side shoulder, right side hip. Notice where it starts to stick. Give it micro movements, give it breath, give it attention, let it through. So it doesn't bother you later. Deal with it right now. Address it now. Meet it now. Right hand high, sweeping wide, sits you up, legs out long. Right crosses over left, hands go overhead, left holds right wrist. You just fall open. With each exhalation, can you drop the shoulders? Can you trust the bind of your ankles and relax your thighs? Can you allow your thighs to be heavy, your shoulders heavy, and the space between the belly and the chest opens, becoming more and more effortless? Softening the face, the jaw, the skin around your eyes. So that as you uncross and your hands come down, there's a neutral. You're just noticing. This isn't even a pose. This is a space in between. Just allowing total neutrality. Noticing anywhere that remains held and inviting it through, out, beyond. In the quiet, bless you. So if this is your preference, you're welcome to organize your Shavasana, bringing your heels the width of your hips, or building a little bit of support for your Shavasana. You just roll yourself up, stay steady, you're going to roll right back in a jiffy. But we're building it by taking our long open blanket in this form. So right now my blanket is this size, and folding a third in, and then the other side a third in, so that I have this long, narrow rectangle. I put this with the fold at the top and the fringe, if you have a fringe, towards you. If you have a layer, if you want socks, if you want a blanket, if you want to cover up, get yourself set. Have an eye covering within reach. Yep. So when you lie back, start off of it. You're not on it when you, further. And then you lie back and reach overhead and find the folded end of that long blanket and bring it underneath the back of your neck, and then turn the fold to point towards your crown. You get this little neck support in this posture with this long blanket, and then I folded it towards me, and then I turned the tail to face away from me to support the base of the skull. Widen your arms almost to a T. Just pressing any paraphernalia out of the way. And notice the expansion. Cover your eyes. And we'll stay for 10 minutes. Do you want an eye cover? Settling. As the body becomes heavy and at ease, allow a simple count. In for 4, out for 6. Normal breath in, normal out. In for 4, out 6. Normal in and out. In 4, out 6. Normal in and out. 3 more rounds. At the end of 3 rounds, just release the technique and be at ease. The breath is effortless. The body is effortless. You are held. Beginning to deepen your breathing. If you have time, stay as long as you can. As you're ready to return, you bend one knee, foot flat. Feel the foot to the floor. And then the other. Knees knock in, heels wide, settle. Taking your time, you roll to the right and up. And as you build your seat, hop your seat back and up onto the tail end of your blanket, just for a little bit of height. Take your time, acknowledge where you've been. And just sitting tall. From that deep, neutral space, if we were to simply return out into the world, we would be quite unfocused and distractible. We could lose our way, be a bit hard on ourselves in our doing. So in your upright, eyes are closed, the quality of that rest, that any rest has power. The power of that rest is Nidra Shakti. And Nidra Shakti has an order that's being offered. We're being reordered. The noise and the clutter settles, and a wiser guide is organizing us from inside. Feel your inhale rise to the top of your head, and feel your exhale gather at your navel. Feel your inhale rise to the top of your head, and feel the exhale gather at the navel. Just begin to organize your attention, your sensation, your awareness. Give it direction, and then give it repetition. Let it be soft and organized. On your next inhale, go down into the ground through your seat and anchor. On the exhale, back to the navel. Repeating down into the ground on the inhale. You may find as you inhale into the ground that you sit a little taller, that deepening keel of your ship gives you greater mobility. The exhale gathering the certainty at the center of yourself. The next inhale up to the crown of the head. The exhale to the navel. The inhale down into the ground. And the exhale to the navel. Continuing up and back and down and back. 3 more times. Trust this. And just reside at the navel, that you've called into you the height of the sky, the possibilities. And you've called into you the certainty of the ground. Feel it reside at the navel. Feel your upper chest open and high, like your knee is in your armpit. Your seat steady beneath you. Sweep wide from here, reach tall. Bring your palms together down the middle. We'll finish with 3 ohms with these arms. Inhaling wide. A at the belly, U at the chest, M at the mouth. Last time. Thumbs to forehead center. Om Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, perfect peace. Namaste. So as you head into your day, if at any point you feel spacey, then use that breath. If you're spacey, inhale down and exhale to the navel. Just getting a handle on what's happening. You feel too inert, inhale up and exhale back. Like you're bringing a little bit of the sky. I can do this. I'm not stuck. Here we go. Right? So use it all week. I'll be back next Saturday. If you're sticky, that was a lot through the mid back, low back. Heels forward under your knees. If you're sticky tomorrow morning, big circles. Take it where you need to. And that will get you unstuck. And so we'll replaying what we did today. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for the start of our new sequence. Super. I'll see you in Kundalini tomorrow or back here for Vinyasa next Saturday.